I'm calling this meeting to order. Welcome to Sedro Woolley Rotary, the best Rotary club in the universe. Today's invocation is with Jared Couch.
Thank you, Ruth. We're thankful for this day, its blessings, opportunities, and challenges. Let us appreciate each day to its fullest, find strength and guidance for each day's duties and problems, and watch over us and keep us safe. Amen.
Amen. And Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And please join in the four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And today's song is with Chris Rothenbuehler.
All right, since you guys are all standing up, we did this at the district conference and I really enjoyed it. So we're gonna sing 3 rounds, each round a little bit faster and get you guys moving and pumped up a little bit. You guys ready? All right. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Hey!
Oh. All right, do we have any visiting Rotarians today? Any visiting Rotarians? Do we have any guests of Rotarians today? Don? Can someone take him a mic? Rick, I'm sorry.
My grandson, Josh Allen.
All right, any other visitors?
Well, we kind of got a table full here, and it's a wonderful thing. Let's start with Mr. Doyle. Guffey's over here. We'll go this end. And his wonderful wife, Mary. Miss Sandy Sims, Dan's wonderful wife. Dan, are you visiting today, or are you here? Oh, never mind. And my bride, Hank, Henrietta.
I have Bean. She's the one that doesn't bite.
Hi, Bean.
All right, so welcome to all of our visitors. It's great to have you. And instead of the question of the week this week, I have a special treat. Please help me welcome Doug Wood for a weekly joke.
There were four cowboys herding cows down on the Texas border, and something happened bad, and they lost their horses and they ran across the border, and they were in a real mess. So they had to walk out. So there's 4 cowboys walking across the desert, and they walked into quicksand, and they were in a real predicament. What do you call that predicament? Cuatro cinco.
So just to let everyone know, I will not be telling jokes because I'm not that talented, but every time Doug Wood is here, he is in charge of the joke for me this year. So get ready for it. I have missed him during his presidency. He told some whoppers and I can't wait to hear some more. So thank you, Doug. All right, so club business. For the next 3 weeks, we have programs already set and you'll have read that in your email. If you have any questions, look there. I wanted to take kind of a consensus. The city is going to be working on the floors in here the week of our meeting on the 29th. That's our 5th Thursday. So normally we'd have a bingo and fellowship night in here on an evening meeting. I am not opposed to canceling the meeting because it's the Thursday before a long weekend, and I think a lot of people will be gone. And the next 2 Thursday evenings, we have the golf scramble on September 5th out at Big Lake Overlook. And then on September 12th, we have the Rotary barbecue. So that would be 3 Thursdays in a row where we have evening events. That seems like a lot to me, but I am open if anyone wants to plan a social event outside of the community center, let me know. But is everyone thinking canceling or have someone plan something? Cancel? Okay, so we will cancel the August 29th meeting and I'll put that up on the website just in case anyone is looking to visit. And let's see, I already talked about the golf scramble and the barbecue. Are there any other club announcements today? Chris Rothenbuehler.
I just want to remind everybody that this Sunday night is our very last concert for the summer concert series. So if you haven't made it out, please come out. If you want to make up, come up and say hi to us and sell a raffle ticket or two. We can use some help. I appreciate Travis for your help and Sue Stratoff and Louie especially. But I could definitely use some more help from our own club, even though I'm getting some from outside of our club too. So come on out, talk about Rotary, enjoy the show. Help me with some raffle tickets. Yeah, but it's the last opportunity to come down. So come down and be part of it, please.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Anyone else have any business? All right, seeing none, we are ready for a raffle, I think, John and Becky.
We got it, Becky. We'll get you for next week.
Number 20.
Mr. Guffey.
Winner sings a song, tells a joke, or pays $2.
That's the easiest $2 you'll make every week right there.
Number 24. Pick on the vodka. Number 23. Number 1.
All right. So now we have Sergeant at Arms and Happy Bucks with Rick and Chuck.
I'm gonna start this off. Gonna begin with those that have birthdays this month. Phil Brockman, Pat Eason, Travis Heisman, Mike Mosier. So that'll cost you $2. Money. And we have 12 anniversaries this month. Phil Brockman gets hit again, so he owes another $3. Eric Johnson, Eric A. Or the other one, Junior. Junior. Aldi, Tim Lear, John Matarand, Jeff McCann, Danny Russell, Kyle Rutherford, Rick Tesrick, Jada Trammell, whose anniversary is today, Mark Venz, whose anniversary is today, and Rich Wyrich. So anniversaries are $3, birthdays $2. If you're not wearing your badge, it's $2. If you didn't sign in, it's $2, and it's all on the honor system, but it looks like everybody's wearing their badges, so you win today. So Chuck's gonna ding you for a little bit more here.
Okay. Rotarians that have been in the club less than 25 years, $2. Rotarians that have been 25 years up to 39 years, $1. And for those that have been in here for 40 years, $0. And we have, I'll name the 40+ year Rotarians: Crawford, Huggins, Reekler, Rothenbuehler, Sims, Brian Stiles, Tesrick, and Wilson. So that says a lot for our club. And Daryl's the longest, 53 years. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do some Sedro Woolley trivia and history today. So this table, what year did Thrifty Foods open in downtown Sedro Woolley? Original store downtown. Yeah. It's now, it's Food Pavilion now, but it was originally Thrifty Foods. Nope. Nope, nope. 1963, $1. There was where the Sedro Woolley Gymnasium is, there was a building there that was built in 1915. What was that? I knew you'd answer that. Yeah. Okay. What Sedro Woolley Rotarian, who's retired now, opened his business on Metcalf Street in I can't see it, in 1979. Nope. What? That's it. Yeah. Okay. See, I gotta zing you guys. What major institution opened up in 1965 here in Sedro Woolley? At one time, it employed about 400 people. You guys are too smart. And what? Okay, the United General Hospital was the answer. Okay. Let's see. What building is Sedro Woolley? April 19th is the 156th birthday of who? Who's a Rotarian? Yeah, that's it. Paul Harris. Okay. Yeah, no. Okay, that's it. I think. Happy Bucks. Oh, you're right here. Go ahead.
All right, I have a happy 20 that I'll dig out of my wallet because I don't have enough on the table. But yes, I know I look like a piece of garbage today. And you're probably all thinking, oh, she's a teacher. She's got summers off. That must be nice. 5 of those happy dollars to tell you, yes, it is nice. And I love it that I have summers off. More of my happy bucks are for helping Sylvia Maturin and the Clear Lake Historical Society and Lynn and Mark and Todd's wife, Anna, build the cabin. I am getting bruised, but I think that we're going to survive the winter because we're going to have the cabin built before snowfall. And finally, the last 10 is because I went to the Chris Stapleton concert with my mom last weekend and it was amazing. It's the 3rd time that I've seen him, but it was so much fun. So yes, those are what my happy bucks are for. Thank you.
Today marks the 6th year that we've been at the new building, so I guess it can't be new anymore. I just remember that first day that somebody walked in, it kind of brought a tear to my eye, how pretty it was. We've pushed over 24 million pounds of food through that building in the last 6 years, and I wrote you'll see something in the paper, and I literally cried the whole time writing that. Like just how awesome that is. So happy 20 for a 6-year anniversary.
Okay. I have a happy $100 from Beth Modden, who I visited at the end of June. And she said I had to say it was for the best Rotary Club in the universe.
Following up with that, Beth is joining a club down in Arizona. And then she said, anybody who happens to be at the Calgary convention, she might see us there. So she was looking forward to seeing some of our club members there.
I have some happy bucks. 12 days ago today, my daughter Avery and her husband Drew had their first child, Alder James.
I have a happy 5. I was at the Skagit Rotary Club yesterday morning and I said I was from the Sedro Woolley Rotary Club, the best Rotary Club in the universe, and nobody laughed. So I was happy about that.
Happy $10. 56 years ago, I bought a car from Doyle Guffie, Vern Sims Ford. He tried to talk me out of it. My dad tried to talk me out of it, but I had to have the hot rod. So I kept the check. I wrote a $1,500 check in my pocket until it wore out to remind me to listen to smart older people when you're making a decision.
Anybody else?
We just commented that was a lot of money back then, wasn't it, Doug? That was a lot of money. And Doyle still makes that kind of money, you know that even more. He makes yeah, but he does give it back, a lot back. So I have a happy 5. This is Sue and I, this is our 48th anniversary today. So thanks.
Anybody else?
Oh.
So I have another 5 because I forgot. I intentionally wore this outfit today because my Chris Stapleton, but also I'm wearing these awful socks. They're golf socks because I needed to remind all of you that on August 23rd, Evergreen Elementary is hosting our 2nd annual For the Kids golf tournament. We have a lot of golfers in this club and none of you are signed up to golf in our tournament yet. And that is very sad to me because I don't know if you know this, but Rotary is sponsoring a hole. So I feel like there should be some Rotarians besides me golfing in the golf tournament. So August 23rd at Avalon.
And we can include the sign up link in next week's email. Remind me. All right, so today we have a great presentation from Mark Venn. So I'm going to go ahead and invite him up to tell us a little bit about the Paul Harris Fellowship recognition and how you earn it and all of the things that go along with it. Thanks, Mark.
And as the anniversary man walks up, a reminder, in 2 weeks on the 15th is when roses will be distributed to anniversary for this month.
Thanks, Rick. Glad you're on top of it. I'm glad it wasn't the receipts that we have to give you for the auction. So that's something new to hear from you. So thanks for having me. I'm really not the main show today. Travis is. So, Travis is going to talk about some things as well as me. But Ruth asked me to come in. As some of you may or may not know about the Paul Harris Award and the awards that we give out annually. And I'll talk a little bit about how it works and what we do as a committee. And we'll talk about the committee a little bit and how it functions and how we put all this together for giving out the awards. If you look in your booklet, and I know we don't have the new ones yet, but in the booklet, I assume we still have that the Paul Harris Awards are being recognized next to the people's names in the booklet as you go through. So this is, just looking this up, this is John Mattern's page. John has it, Beth Modden has it, Bill McCann, and Mike Moser has it. So there's an asterisk by each of the award winners. So that's good. So a lot of you know that I'm really good in technology. And so when Ruth asked me to do this, I went to Chat GPT. I have an app on my phone, and I asked Chat GPT, which is AI, artificial intelligence, to write me a little bit about the Paul Harris Awards. So I'm going to read you about what it says, because I don't think I could have done it any better than that. But this is right off the Chat GPT artificial intelligence. So the Paul Harris Fellow Award is one of the highest honors that Rotary International bestows. It's named after Paul Harris, the founder of Rotary, who was established in 1957 to express appreciation for contributions of $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation. And I'll talk about that a little bit more later. The award is given to individuals who meet the high professional and personal standards set by Mr. Harris. Recipients of the Paul Harris Award receive a certificate and a lapel pin, and the recognition is not limited to Rotarians, but also to non-Rotarians who can be recognized for their meritorious service and dedication to humanitarian efforts and community efforts that align with Rotary objectives. The award highlights the values of Rotary, emphasizing the importance of community service, leadership, and international understanding. Over the years, millions of individuals have been recognized as Paul Harris Fellows, helping to fund the Rotary's initiatives, including eradicating polio, promoting peace, and providing clean water and sanitation, among other critical projects. So this was on my iPhone. I made a copy and got together and put it on a piece of paper so I could read it to you. So would the Paul Harris Award Foundation Award winners in this room please stand up and we could recognize them? So as you can see, Sandy Sims stood up, and Sandy, husband Dan's a Rotarian, but she won the award for a lot of the work she does in our community, and a lot of good work she has done, I know personally. So here's how it works in Sedro Woolley. So we're the best club in the universe, obviously, and we have some really outstanding people that have made a lot of contributions to the club, to our community, and even beyond our community to internationally. A lot of you have gone in international missions and work to with water and Teak, as he goes out every year to help the people in Central America. So the approach of our club is that we recognize the Paul Harris Awards for people that receive $1,000 donation to the foundation. They give $1,000 or somebody gives it in their name. That was Paul Wagner this year. he was one of the 5 that we were going to recognize. Paul Wagner had $1,000 donation in his name. The other people that were recognized at the installation, but also we will do more of that, is that we put $1,000 from our club to the Rotary Foundation in their name. So this year, the other people were Mark Nielsen, Phil Brockman, and Jeff McCann that were recognized at the installation. I think Phil's the only one here. So Phil, congratulations on your. So how does it work with our club? So we do it a little differently, but it's a real proactive. But in mid-March, you'll hear me get up, and I'm the head of the committee, and I have been for over 10 years. But in mid-March, you'll hear me say, we're accepting nominations for the Paul Harris Award. And I'll explain again who Paul Harris was in that for all the new members. And then I asked people to contact one of the committee members. And this year, our committee, and I think it's the same for next year, is David Bricka, Charlie Bush, Chris Johnston, Teek Martin, Mike Mosier, and Becky Oldie. So people contact either me or them, and we ask them to write up a short summary of why these people deserve to be a Paul Harris Award winner. And what happens after that is we collect them up until mid-April. And the reason it's that time is because the president of Rotary has to order the awards before, so we get them before the installation. And I think we got them pretty quick this year, didn't we? And but we have to order those and get those in. So in mid-April, we close the nominations, and the committee comes together and reviews each of the nominations. Now, if people have been nominated in previous years and didn't get selected, they still stay on the list, so they don't have to be re-nominated every year. But we keep those on the list, and then any new people that come in, we go through it as a board, and usually we choose anywhere in my 10 years from 2 to 5 different people. And there's nothing in stone that says it can't be more or can't be less, but usually it's around 3 to 4 people. And it usually includes people in our community as well as Rotarians in our club, as you can see. So the awards are usually given out at the installation, which is at the end of June in here. And it's a real positive event. It's a positive event for families and for spouses and for people that are here. And we have a celebration of that along with our new president. So that being said, and that being explained a little bit, this is the certificate that's in here that's handed out to the Paul Harris Award fellow. At this time, I'd like Dan Sims and John Smith to come up here and present our last award for the Rotary Paul Harris Fellowship for this year. So Smitter and Danny, you want to come up? Don't hurry, okay?
Well, as you know, we're part of that elite Rusty Zipper. So we are slow, but we get the job done oftentimes. Well, this year, it gives great pleasure to introduce somebody I think you all know. Hopefully, you've helped his business in the past. Raleigh, step up the plate here, please. We were gonna have Marie Sims, his other mother, present this, but she's not available today. She'll be here maybe tomorrow, but we won't. So anyway, yeah, for what all Doyle has done throughout this town, county, state, probably, it's too many to mention them all. So I'd forget somebody if I mention them all. But if you look around, you'll see that sign up somewhere, Raleigh Auto, and it's not only his money in it, but his heart is in it. I want you to know that. It's given a gift from himself. So thank you, Doyle.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you, and it's great to see this many friends in one room. And I'd like to say you're a great bunch of people, not because of this, but I have to give credit. If I've had any successes, it's due to the lady sitting over there.
I've known I've known Doyle for quite a few years. We worked together at Vern Sims Ford back in the early 70s. Doyle has then since gone on to have his own dealership. He runs a great operation out of Burlington now. I want to say that what John said about his participation in the community, Doyle epitomizes the Rotary motto of service above self, and he's well deserving of this award. So thank you, Doyle.
Thank you, guys. Good job, Danny. Some of you may know this. I think Daryl does, remembers this, that we awarded Doyle his high school diploma at a school board meeting when I was superintendent. And that was pretty special. And if you go into Doyle's office, he has it framed there on the wall. So Dan and John are going to frame the Paul Harris certificate for Doyle to put on his wall in his office at Raleigh Auto Sales. So I agree with there's probably no better recipient than Doyle Guffie for this, for the breadth and the depth of the work that he's done for our community and given to our community and that. So if you knew the work behind the scenes that we did to get him here today, there were a lot. That whole thing, is it the truth? Well, we kind of stretched the truth a little bit to get him here a little bit, but this makes up for it. So that's the Paul Harris Award. Congratulations, Doyle. That's how we do the process, and we have fun with it. And it's we don't always pick the ones that are nominated that we decide on, but usually as time goes by, the people that get nominated eventually get chosen as they continue their work in the community. So thanks for having me here today. And again, congratulations, Doyle. Way to go.
And now I'd like to welcome our very own Club Director Extraordinaire, Travis Heisman, to the front. And he's got some time. You've got 20 minutes. You've got this.
Hello, everyone. Just listening to that about Doyle made me think a little bit about the quote, standing on the shoulders of giants. So my business is an accounting practice, and I like to tell my clients that small business owners are my heroes. And the reason is I think about when I was a kid, all of our, Todd's sitting here too. Todd was going through sports about the same time I was, and all of our soccer, baseball jerseys, all of them had the names of all these business owners and businesses, and that kind of stuff is just so special. And so I can think about, Hanson Brothers, Louis' business, Raleigh Auto, those were all on the back of all of our jerseys. And so thank you guys very much. Okay. And now you get to listen to me about other not so fun stuff. So I have a couple things here. First, as director, I am in charge of the club administration. Now, before you all fall asleep, hey, don't put that up there yet, though, if you wouldn't mind. Sorry. I don't want them, I want your attention here, people. So under this director's position, we have the weekly programs. I'm going to talk about that in a second. We have meals, facility, storage, locker, technology. That's chaired by Josh Requa. And we have member retention chaired by John Janicki. Now, funny story. When I called John Janicki to see if he'd be willing to come here today to present, he said, now keep in mind, he's chair of the member retention. He said, oh, I'm taking the summer off to do wood carvings. I'm sorry, I won't be there. Okay, that's probably appropriate. I actually think John has earned that, so that's good. But so we're not going to talk a lot about member retention. When I called Josh Requa, turns out Josh is not going to be here. So we're going to have a very short discussion about the facilities committee. I do want to just also point out, this is really interesting. You can tell it's summer. There are 2 program chairs for each month. So that's 24. There's 6 of them here today. So again, you can tell we're on summer schedule. I just want to say a few things. Eric's going to come up and talk real quick about technology. So, but let me start by saying this. I've had several discussions with Rotarians about their attendance and just the whole topic of retention. And one of the things that is a common theme that we hear about is that there has to be value for me to come to the meeting. And the quality of our meetings is anchored often by the quality of our presentation and the discussion. So it's up to all of us to figure out what's going on in the community, what are the hot topics that we all want to hear about, and invite those people to come talk to us. So we do have team captains, but if you have an idea, I am quite sure they would be very appreciative if you brought that idea to them, and we'll get it slotted in. Just a quick reminder, we're looking for things going on in the community, people we want to hear about, new building, new construction, governmental updates. Those are all great programs. We want to stay away from, religious, political campaigning, and anybody that's here to sell you something. Those are off limits. Okay. I am also encouraging this year's program chairs to get outside the box. Like we're in this kind of rut that we invite people in to speak. We have had limited success with things like just getting to know one another, taking a meeting to just talk to one another. We've had really good success with listening to Rotarians tell their story, whether they're a new Rotarian or have they been here a long time. I would love to hear those stories again. So let's break that up. The other thing I think about, we've had some fun doing some field trips. So shoot, if there's one, I just talked to Rob Janicki on the way over here, and he has the new apartments over behind McDonald's that they're putting in maybe some of you have heard of it. There's a business called Backspins. Backspins is a restaurant with a couple golf simulator machines in there. He would be happy to host us for a day to come over for Rotary meeting. Maybe we get to, hit the simulators and see the new facility. So those kind of things I think would be a lot of fun. Eric, do you want to just talk briefly about technology?
So Travis initially asked me to tell people about things that are coming down the pike, but there really isn't anything new on the horizon as far as technology goes. So it's what I'm going to talk about is more of a reminder to those that are arranging for presentations that mainly because we're using Zoom on a regular basis, something that people may have forgotten about is that you could get someone remotely to do a presentation. They don't have to come here to do it. And that could open up a much wider group of people to do presentations to us. I do ask that if they're going to do a PowerPoint presentation, that one, they have that file available in some form, whether it be on a thumb drive, which I hear are going by the wayside, but also access to their cloud server, or if they bring their laptop with a presentation on it, I have a thumb drive that we can put the file on. They could also email it to me. Something that I'd like to know prior to them even getting here is if their presentation entails having a video that's presented embedded in their presentation. It just makes it easier ahead of time for me to know that that's happening. I think that's it, Travis.
Okay, does anybody have any questions or thoughts or input on programs? Okay. So I'm also, this is maybe a little more fun topic. Ruth, would you mind? Can you pull up that? Which one? The. Okay, so we've had a lot of questions about foundation, Rotary Foundation versus our Rotary Club. Okay, and Steve's back here. So Steve, you can jump in and help me out if I'm wrong on any of these points. So we have two entities and two checking accounts for our Sedro Woolley Rotary Club. One is called our foundation, and we actually have, if you look in our Rotary book, you'll see that some of our directors are foundation directors. Then we also have our club entity and club account, and some of our directors are club directors. Okay, the reason we do that is to keep donated funds for donated purposes and keep them separate from club funds and club activities. Okay, so let me just kind of talk through the differences here. So for our foundation account, and I'm going to show you numbers here in a minute that'll bring this home. Our foundation account handles all of our fundraising. So that's our Rotary auction, our log rodeo foot race, our concerts in the park, okay, and anything else we do to raise funds to give back to the community. That's where all the money comes from. We use that money to donate back to the community. We basically do scholarships, we do community projects, we do world understanding, so international projects, and we do youth projects, okay? We only have approximately 2% of the annual revenue that comes in the foundation gets used for anything other than giving right back to the community, okay? And that 2% is really small, and really all it is we have to pay to have a tax return done for our foundation. And there's some small like postage and little kind of office things that go with administering that foundation, okay? Versus the club. So where the money comes in, oh, let me finish by the foundation is managed by our treasurer. So Steve manages the books, and it's overseen by the foundation board. Okay, so that foundation board's job is to set the goals and objectives of the foundation money. And the rest of us, our goal is to execute on that. The club is completely separate. There are two QuickBooks accounts. If any of you at any time wanted to see a financial statement from either, they're very separate, okay, on purpose. And there's no transferring money back and forth. They are completely separate. So the club is non-donated funds, and it's for everyday activities. So in the meeting today, we had raffle, we had fines, we had happy bucks, and we have our dues. That makes up the bulk of the money for our club account, okay? We don't have to really worry about that money going as donation because, you know, a lot of times I think we all have ethical things we worry about with donated money. Those aren't the same strings we have with the club money. The club money is to operate the club. So we use the money for the operating costs of the club, membership events, you know, we put on the Christmas party, the golf tournament, those kind of things, foundation dinner. Okay, and that is managed by the treasurer. So Steve manages those books also. And when we say he manages the books, here's what that means. He records all of the money coming in appropriately in the right place. And he pays bills, cuts checks, and handles all the money going out and making sure it's in the right place. Okay. And Steve's been doing that a long time. Thank you, Steve, because that is not an easy job. Okay, so any questions on that big picture? That makes sense to everybody? Yeah, pretty straightforward. I'm not getting a whole lot of head nodding, but okay. So what I wanted to do, I did a quick little summary here. Is there any way to blow that up a little more, Eric? Okay, I will give this report to anybody that needs it, but let me just kind of talk through real quick, just to drive home what you're seeing. So this is the foundation. And you can, what I did is put together just kind of a 3-year summary here. So you can see our auction, how much money we raised year to year. You probably can't see it, but if you could see it, it's listed up there. So if you look at total fundraising, so we went from in 21-22, we were 376,000. And then the next year we went 311. And then this last year, which I can't confirm that Steve has everything recorded yet. So don't hang your hat on these numbers, but that looks like more like 230,000. Okay. And then we have some other income. We have some interest income. Steve's been doing a good job of parking money in a Edward Jones CD when we're not using it. So we have Edward Jones interest coming in. And then we just have some other miscellaneous income. That makes up all of our income for our foundation. And if you scroll down a little bit, so our key areas we spend money on, we obviously have to spend money to make money. So we're spending money on fundraising, but the bulk of our money goes into what's called program expenses. And that's made up of our community projects, our scholarships, world understanding, and youth. Okay. And if you scroll down even a little farther, okay. I thought I had on there, keep going. Nope, I don't. Okay, each year I can tell you that there's that other admin expenses. It's like 1%, 2%, and 3% in those 3 years. So we're managing the money really well and making sure that every dollar comes into foundation, goes out to the community. But I also wanted to show you, click on the foundation functional. What I want to just kind of show you here is if we were to just look at, scroll up a bit, Eric. So for the 3 years, if we look at auction income versus auction expenses, okay? So you can see we netted 21-22, 276. We were 226 and then 166 this last year, okay? Obviously, that's not a trend that we want to see, but we've been dealing with a lot of post-COVID stuff. And we actually, sorry. My phone ringing back there? Thank you. Okay, Log Rodeo, same thing. You can see, that first year there, we actually lost money, but that was a really bad year. It was COVID. And then it's been going up since then. Summer concert series, same thing. So I just want to put it in this format. You guys can get a look at this if you want. But if you keep scrolling down, Eric, we have additional contributions, additional income. We have funds out, and the net is the same. Oh, there's my 1%, 3%, 2% admin expenses. Okay, so any questions on the summary for the foundation? Is anybody even awake? Okay. Everybody loves it when the accountant talks. Okay, I know Dan Sims does. Okay, click on the summary. So this is the club. Scroll up a little bit. Okay, so total money in comes from dues, fees, dues, fines, raffles, and other income, and we're right around the 38 to 40,000. Our dues, by the way, so if you look at that really tiny dues number on line 7 in this last year, that's all of you folks. You haven't paid your dues, and I know Sheena's after all of us. So I think a lot of that money is already starting to come in, but a year late. So keep that in mind. And then if you scroll down, so we're operating the club on about $35,000 to $40,000 per year. And what do we use that for? Mostly fellowship. We do pay both Rotary International dues and we pay District 50/50 dues. Okay, so that's it looks like maybe we haven't paid the district this year, but we're right around $12,000 to $14,000 a year we're paying in dues. And then the rest goes out in small amounts, you know, anniversaries and paying some facility fees and meals for guests and, you know, rosters and all that other fun stuff. So if we operate our club, obviously we're not a for-profit, so we're not exactly operating our club to make money, but I also know that this last year expenses have gone up quite a bit. And so we're just trying to balance that from a club standpoint, but our goal is to obviously have a little bit of money left in the checking account at the end of the year. So, all right. So hopefully that kind of drives home the difference between foundation and club. They're completely separate. You guys as club members are of course always welcome to ask questions about the numbers, and it's full transparency. So just make sure you ask Steve, not me. All right, Steve, do you have anything you want to add? Don't get up and leave. Yeah, one thing I did not show up there that's giving Steve a lot of heartburn is we haven't been able to spend all of our foundation money in the last couple of years. We've been building a big bank account and we need to get that spent.
Yes, indeed.
I gotta go. Phil.
Past president on the board for quite a few years, and I just want to give Steve a little kudos for all the work that you've done. You missed a little bit, but he deserves everything that we've been talking about. Thank you, Steve.
All right, any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Okay, are there any other announcements? Oh, Daryl.
Just one standing there reminding me that all of her fellow, one thing that we used to do was we had someone that we knew that was heavily involved in community activities. We could also personally donate $1,000 to the foundation and then award them one. And back in the 80s, if you remember, Nancy Reagan started the Just Say No program with chemical people. And my wife, Mike Crawford's wife, Diane, and Sandy were all involved in what we called then the chemical people, which was a foreshadow of the organizations that now the high school has put together. That also works with chemical dependency problems. Anyway, at that particular time, I think Mike did, and I know I did, contribute $1,000 in honor of my wife, where then she also received a Paul Harris Fellow. So that option should, I assume, still be available. So individuals wanted to do that.
That's good to know. Thanks, Daryl. Anyone else? All right, remember to stack the chairs at the table and stack the tables and help with cleanup, and we'll see you next week.